The Master Chief is back, and he's not just in Halo. This time, he's taking over the culture. 24 years after Halo Combat Evolved was released, guess what, folks? There's a release of memes all over the internet, and Microsoft just might be freaking out. It could derail their Campaign Evolved remaster. Today, we've got the composer from the Halo games, and he's ready to tell you, along with Endymion, what he thinks is going down with Trump, the Orange Man, and Spartan 117. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is a glorious day. It's a fun day. The memes are raining down. Gavin Newsom trying to get in on it as well. And folks, we're here to watch as the gaming journalists are melting down by the second. Let's dive in. It is a story we've been waiting for. Click the like button, drop a comment down below, let us know what was your favorite Halo game. And here we go. You know, when Microsoft started this whole Halo Campaign Evolved thing, I don't think this is what they believed was going to happen. Out of geeksandgamers.com by Jessica Lindstrom. GameStop breaks the internet with Trump Halo memes after declaring end of the console wars. You can see the White House now is also joining in with GameStop. Power to the players. And you've got the GameStop meme here. John 117, Master Chief himself, the Spartan extraordinaire, is not shaking hands with Cortana, but rather with El Trumpo. GameStop and the Trump White House had some fun this weekend with news that Halo would be coming to PlayStation. The recent shocking news of the classic Xbox exclusive game Halo coming to PS5 sent shockwaves through the gaming world. Some appear to be cautiously optimistic, whereas a handful seem none too excited over Halo, the defining game for Xbox, coming to PlayStation. This brings in the question, is this the end of the console wars? And of course, GameStop declared it in a very funny PR move from GameStop. In fact, I gotta say, whoever is running the account at GameStop, you need a raise. You flat out need a raise. You can see they declared the console wars are over. Folks, it's satire. We're not gonna weigh in on whether that's real or not. But it says, with so many games now available on Steam, the console war can sometimes feel a bit pointless. Still, not everyone can or wants to build their own PC. Then it talks about here on Geeks and Gamers that GameStop really had fun with this. But ladies and gentlemen, it did not stop with GameStop. For On That Park Place by Marvin Montanaro, it talks about all of these Halo memes. And yes, they are taking over the internet. Gavin Newsom trying to get in on the fun, but well, he's already done because he was very unsuccessful at it. You can see there's Trump with Master Chief. And here's Newsom. This is how you know that this really was effective. When the other side decides they need to get involved, that's when you know they've recognized that it's effective. Governor Newsom out of California. Consoles, more expensive, check. Games, more expensive, check. Subscriptions, more expensive, check. Not sure the Trump administration really wants to be talking about gaming right now.
How in the world did the listing for taxes and living expenses and regulations not get on that list of more expensive? Oh, wait. Gavin.
Gavin's problem. Gavin is such a tool. Sorry. I met the guy and I tweeted about it. It was, my prediction back in 2005, I came home after meeting Gavin Newsom and I said to my wife, I've just met the slimiest, most Hollywood-based, on the nose, central casting politician ever. Thank God he'll never get out of San Francisco.
Did you see he's now claiming that he grew up poor? His father was the chief counsel for Getty Oil.
You're gonna question his Wonder Bread again, aren't you?
Yeah.
I actually have a question for Marty.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot of people getting mad about the White House using the memes and stuff, if you will, the photos of Halo, Master Chief, all that, and a lot of people in the comments saying that that's somehow anti-Halo or that's anti, I guess you could say, what Halo would stand for as like themes and stuff. So I kind of want to know what he thinks, like, because obviously you did the music for Halo. So what do you think about that and the discussion of whether Halo is a Christian game or not?
Oh, well, I've gotten into this discussion about whether Halo is a Christian game. It's not an allegory. We have a lot of Christian and religious symbolism that we draw on. And some of it is, you throw stuff in there because of, you think it's cool. A couple of the guys who worked on Halo were pastors' kids. My dad did films for Christian organizations. I'm a Christian. There's a few Christians on the team, but there were guys who weren't Christian, and we weren't trying to like make this an explicitly anything Christian thing.
It was like how they used to make games.
Yeah, exactly. There was no agenda. It was just trying to be cool, trying to be fun, and it uses, you know, symbols and metaphors and so forth from the culture. So yeah, the idea, what I see is that people, what's good about it for me is that people project themselves into something like Halo, which is what you would want. You don't want something to be so, once again, on the nose that like there's no choice. This is the agenda. This is what it's preaching. So people can see the right in there. People can see the left in there. People can see whatever they want to see in there, and that's fine. And I think what we're seeing in the, you know, the people who get all bent out of shape are the ones who speak the loudest on threads, and they always crack me up. But I've had just in the last 24 hours, I've had over 3 million total views of my tweets that are just retweeting, you know, so I'm getting it for me. I'm helping the Trump tweets, of course, too. But like, I think it's hilarious.
I'm frankly waiting every day for you to get a Trump endorsement at this point. I mean, I don't know.
I'm expecting that you'll be commissioned to write the official fanfare for the opening of the ballroom.
That's all.
You know, you never know what could happen here. Strange things are happening. I mean, 25 years ago, we made Halo. I would have never predicted 25 years later that, number one, Donald Trump would be president. Number two, I'd be running for Congress. And number three, Halo has become such a cultural icon that it can be used in this really funny, memey way. Like, I just think it's hilarious. And it's just driving the left insane. Because
because they're trying to humor. Yeah, they're trying to say like, oh, Halo isn't like, wasn't made by Christians and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, you're playing a game called Halo, first of all.
Right.
There's a thing called the Ark. There's an enemy called the Flood. Yeah. And like, for God's sakes, like, I mean, I was reading about this online. I actually would like to know if this is actually true. Like, was the number 117 chosen on purpose for John? Because that is something from the Bibles. That's what I was wondering.
And did that come from inside Bungie, or was that part of an author early on building lore?
I think you know, I've been talking to a lot of friends, the original Bungies that made the game, and we've been going over some of the mythology that seems to grow up around something like this. That's not one I've nailed down yet. I don't believe anybody on the Bungie team did it on purpose. I don't think we had specifically named John 117 until Eric Nyland wrote the prequel book.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. He wrote The Fall of Reach while we were crunching. He was crunching. I think he wrote that book in like some ungodly short amount of time, three or 4 weeks or something. But I think Joe Staten didn't directly work with him as much as just sort of like check the drafts to see that he wasn't going completely off the rails. I think he actually started some of the lore that we looked at and said, well, that's cool. Let's just keep going with that. So it feels like John 117 was something we did, but I think it happened with Eric Nyland, who was just a, you know, internal writer, contractor, employee of Microsoft. And he was assigned to write this sci-fi book, which was very successful. And there's a lot of lore that came out of that. I have a podcast, and I'm going to get Eric on the show. He and we haven't talked to each other in a few years. I think I saw him at a game conference a few years ago, but we're friends, and I'm sure he'll get on the show and we can nail down a few of these mythology.
Yeah, but it's just crazy. People are saying like, you know, it wasn't made by Christians, has no Christian themes in it. And I'm like, you can't say that about a game literally called Halo. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, it's at least definitely developed within the culture, within the Judeo-Christian culture.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And it has to be a product of that. Now, you guys have segued perfectly into the intersection of the bizarre here, which is that at the same time that these memes have come out, at the same time that President Trump is riding this and having a great time with it, we also have this discussion that was sort of just as the precursor. this Campaign Evolved game that seems to be not simply a repolishing and remastering of the original game and then brought forth onto Xbox, PC, and PlayStation, but there are changes that have been made to it, and some people are unhappy. They believe that the excellent, and now, Marty, I don't know if you'll be welcoming to this title, but the Legends of Bungie, that their work is sort of being remastered, kind of the same way that Blizzard has gone back and messed up some of their games that were made by absolute geniuses, that perhaps the team that's making this game is not up to the task. And Demian, I want to hand this one to you, because I wonder now, with this now becoming politicized, what is Microsoft going to do here? Because Microsoft obviously doesn't like this. Even if we're having a grand and fun time with it, Microsoft probably does not want Halo being associated with the Orange Man. So what are the days ahead going to be, in Demian?
Well, the thing with Microsoft, from what I've been told, is they like, let's be honest, they lost the whole console war. That's why everything's going third party with them. Xbox as a brand doesn't really, I would in my opinion, matter that much anymore, because all the games are coming to everything anyway. Like, we just had Gears of War Reloaded on PlayStation 5. Now we have Halo campaign involved, so we got to assume Halo 2 is coming. Please God, let Halo 3 come. That's one of my favorite ones. And Halo Reach too. I love Halo Reach. Don't
ODST.
ODST is great too. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with that. If they're going to like bundle that in or make it its own separate download. Like, they'll probably sell it separately. They'll make money off it no matter what. The thing with like Halo and like Xbox and all of that is Microsoft has very heavily pushed the DEI for a very long time. They have recently gotten rid of their DEI initiatives to a certain degree, but for many years they had a mandate where every single time they made anything, it had to have a DEI officer attached to it, like every game possible. And I mean, you only have to go look at like the game that literally just came out like today or yesterday, The Outer Worlds 2, made by Obsidian Entertainment, which was founded by people like Chris Avallone, who doesn't work there anymore because he's, doesn't get along with them in a similar way to like many other developers that I know. So Microsoft is still heavily DI. They're still very heavily pushing with these things. So I can only guess that they're panicking and losing their minds that a franchise that they technically own now with Halo, they're probably very mad that it's being used by the White House, only because the industry as a whole, like a hive mind, is very left leaning. It just is objectively. There's no point in denying it is true, right? You're seeing it also in movies too already. Like, all the villains are like very Elon coded or very Trump coded, or they're fighting AI in the movies and stuff like everything's kind of going in a certain direction, and games are doing that too. So Microsoft can get mad all they want, but at the end of the day, again, if people try to say like Halo's not Christian coded or religious coded, even, it's a lie. It just is.
Now I want to go to this, and those are all great, fantastic points. Some from the team originally who made Halo Combat Evolved are noticing that there are changes, and these are deeper. We're going to talk about right now, but there's some very silly stuff like adding an ammo counter on the Needler. It's like, one, if you have the Needler, you're just looking for another weapon. So really, what's the point? And two, it has giant needles that go down. Like, that's the way if you've got more ammo and you need to reload. Anyway.
But granted, just so people don't get too mad about that change was included in Halo Infinite before they brought it to Campaign Evolved. But even then, it's still stupid because, again, like you said, the Needler's ammo, you could physically see it. So yes.
Right.
I'd like to interject as somebody who's been online since acoustic modems and played a lot of games, not so much lately. I never thought in all of my wildest imagination, in all of my many, many, many decades on this planet, I'd be reading about somebody complaining about putting trees in the landing area of the woohoo jump. I'm sorry, but I've seen a few trees in a few woohoo jump landing areas, and it's
Lord,
not pretty.
Lou, are you reading that as a euphemism? Is that what you're saying? The woohoo jump is a euphemism?
I don't know.
I don't know if you have it, Pro, but there's a tweet by Jamie where he says how they're adding sprint to Halo Campaign Evolved. And Jamie has a problem with that because there's certain parts of Halo's campaign that are perfectly timed to the music that Marty made. So if you can sprint, in theory, you would be out of sync with those moments with the music, if that makes sense. So that's something that a lot of people are also finding sacrilegious, that they're adding elements that kind of ruin what the original creators made as like the mood or the moment, if you will.
Yes,
So
and
the
I've got that
woohoo
there on
jump
screen
could
for anybody
become
who
the
wants to
next-
see.
The woohoo jump could become the next time warp in the dancing world.
There you go. Hey, Marty, what are your thoughts on these changes that they're making, going back and making their own modernization? And, beyond just the gameplay, is there any worry that they're going to go back and mess with the story and try to bring it into a modern retelling where they, and Cortana, that's going to be interesting to see.
Big one. Are they going to DI the crap out of her or not? That I really want to know.
She's going to have a calorie issue in this next one.
She, Cortana got more voluptuous as graphics got better from Halo 1 to Halo 3. And then she went off the rails when 343 got their hands on her. So the Halo 4 Cortana is near pornographic. So I think I have no problem with dialing it back a little bit. We just didn't have the ability, especially in Halo 1, to make her anything than sort of a digitized, ethereal, see-through blue AI lady. So yeah, they have some choices to make. Here's the thing. I really hate the term, I'm sorry, but I hate the term modernization. If you up-res graphics, that's fine. But for example, on the music was recorded at the highest res you can record music. We recorded it at, well, maybe not the highest, but in terms of what your ears can hear, we recorded it like every CD that's ever been recorded. It's 1644.1. So there's no reason to like up-res the music, and there's no reason. I like the idea that maybe the frame rate's going to be, solid and higher, and the graphics are going to be much richer and the whole thing. But in terms of the actual game design, there's nothing modern about Sprint. The Sprint was a choice that we made when we made Halo, not to have Sprint. It's just a game choice. Like you could also do double jumps where you jump in the air and somehow magically jump again. That's a choice, right? That's just a design choice. And if you decide not to do it, you're not making it modern by adding it in. You're just sort of screwing up what the original design choices were. There are pluses and minuses to everything that you do as a designer. We chose not to have Sprint in Halo, and there were a bunch of reasons why. So it doesn't suddenly go, oh, well, we need to make it more modern, so let's add Sprint. That just doesn't make sense. So,
right. Well,
in your opinion, where did Halo lose its way, its identity?
Halo 4. As soon as Bungie left, after Halo Reach, there are some people who felt like Reach did some things maybe it shouldn't have done, but I think most people see the Bungie era as the era where a group of passionate game designers got together with artists and creatives and all they were interested in, and this is true, I was there for all 5 of these games. All we were interested in was making the next cool thing that we really thought was fun and interesting and cool to play and had a great story. And then we left Microsoft, and then there's I got a book coming out, by the way, which will explain all of this. So yeah, we left and did Destiny, and that's a whole other chapter. But once 343 got a hold of it, I think they were not built as a studio with that same camaraderie, reason for being. They weren't there because they were passionate about making the next coolest game that they could make. They were put together to make the next chapter in a franchise that was very successful. And so there were huge business concerns that came in from Microsoft. And that's absolutely not unusual at all. You see that with sequels all the time. The fact that somehow Bungie had 10 years and did, 4 sequels to the original game and somehow kept the ball moving forward that's the miraculous thing. That's the thing.
You could not do that today.
No,
that cannot happen in today. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Marty, part of
now,
what's
I'm biased, of course. Like I'm telling you, this is completely my side of history.
No, you're right though. Come on. You're right though. Like Halo 1 through Reach is still the best Halo. No one can even debate that. Like right. I think I told Marty this one time. Like I remember. Okay, I was on the football team for a bit, and one day we had a football game, and that was the day that Halo 3 came out. And I couldn't wait to get home to play Halo. So I picked up Halo before school. I was late for class, and teacher's like, "Why were you late?" And I'm like, "I had to buy Halo 3. I don't care. Like, get mad at me yet? It doesn't matter to me." And then I had to go to the football game after play football. We lost the game because everyone on the team was like, "We don't care. We just want to play Halo." And then I got home, put my game into my Xbox 360, and I started playing it, and I played it all night, and I was like sleep deprived, and that's all I did. And I think because of Halo 3, I actually ended up like not pursuing sports pretty much after that, and was like, I'm just all in on video games, dude. And I just played Halo 3 all the time. Yeah. And then when Reach came out, I love that. ODS, like everything, dude. All the Halo games are so good. I love them. Well, the Bungie Halos.
Yeah, so we still at the Pro household, we still do Halo LAN parties. And there's an argument that happens. In fact, we had one Friday night. There was an argument that it happens every single time, a battle over whether we get to play Halo 1 or Halo 2 multiplayer, because the guys who know how to get the power weapons and then spawn camp their way to victory in Halo 1 multiplayer, they're mad when we play Halo 2 because they don't like that we'll start off with a battle rifle and oh no, we can't just spawn camp you on Blood Gulch. Yeah, sorry about that. But Marty, so there's a lot of fun in those games, a ton of fun. And they define a generation. Now we've got these people who are going back and they're making the modifications. We're going to go to the rest of the panel after this question, but I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about the idea that there's this debate raging on right now, whether or not today's developers are incompetent compared to, let's say, 15, 20 years ago? And I think that's part of what is driving this rage that's online is we already had... they already released the video and the trailer, and some people were really negative about it. And I don't think that was well received. And then Trump hops in on it, and boy, you know how that went.
Yeah, I don't think the talent is down. I think we have amazingly talented, brilliant designers and programmers and artists and musicians. The talent is there. I think it's up higher now because the stakes are so high from some of these businesses that they're using the wrong motivations, and the people down the line that are actually creating the games are forced to work in certain ways that I just don't think are good for the game industry. These things ebb and flow. That this happens in television, this happened in movies. It's time for the creatives to come back and sort of take over again. And I think you can see it with smaller teams and different ways of doing things. You had the breakaway Expedition 33 folks who left Ubisoft and did their own thing. And I think that kind of stuff is going to happen more. And the talent will always rise to the top. Right now, the big AAA, heavy duty, everything rides on the success of this thing. And along with that, the DEI and the woke preaching that has taken over the last 10 years. I see that as starting to go away. This picture I love the best. I mean, fat JD as Cortana. Too funny. Too funny. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm just thrilled that apparently this is a good one. I haven't seen that. Jesus. Gee. Okay.
He's so happy.
Yes. Yeah. It's. I just think it's really such a kind of thrill to have been part of a team that created something that's iconic enough, for the president of the United States to take it and run with it like this. I love it. I think it's great. And I love this picture because it's Halo 1. It's the original Halo 1 graphics and design. So that's cool.
That's right. Panel, thoughts, comments on Halo and what's happening with the memification?
From my relative ignorance, there seem to be parallels here like crazy to what happened with Lucasfilm and Marvel and everything else. Mm-hmm. And all I can sit here listening to all this passion thinking is, God, does Bob Iger wish anybody was as passionate about a Marvel movie?
Yes.
Or about an Indiana Jones movie or about anything that big media are making these days. Nobody cares slightly compared to... Nobody would rush home from the football game to go see those movies. Let's put it that way.
Well, and sorry to interrupt, but Microsoft should make hay out of this. This is the best marketing they could ever have. they don't have to come out at the antithesis of Trump. They should pile on. This is great advertising for them. I don't get it.
You know, I'm realizing maybe the best compliment that you could have is that people are still passionate about the very first Halo game and Halo 2 and Halo 3. But, you know, I mean, Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001. Yes, and people are still intensely passionate trying to preserve the joy of it. That's a testament to how much people love it.
Because Halo is genuinely one of the best IPs, franchises that have ever been created. Like, it honestly is. Like, that's why people always say, like, Master Chief is the Super Mario, if you will, of Xbox, because he is. That's why even 343 Industries, they tried to replace him with that Locke guy. Didn't really work.
No,
he's not Master Chief, unfortunately. I mean, you can't beat him. It's sort of like replacing Mario, like I said, in his own game, or replacing Link in his own game. Like, you can't do that. Like, these characters are so iconic. Like, Master Chief is to Halo what like Kratos is to PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can't.
Well, but and I just got to say that I never anticipated that I would be playing Halo 1, you know, completely up-resed and, you know, as snazzy as possible with its graphics and everything else on the PlayStation. Like, who saw that one coming? I mean, we've known it was probably going to happen if, you know, this year. We knew that they were probably working on a cross-platform something, but to have Halo 1 Combat Evolved just be something you play now on the PlayStation, all prettied up is
I can't wait to platinum it. Wait. I'm definitely going to do it, because like I love those games. Like, I 100% at Halo Reach, for example, back in the day, played Legendary by myself and everything. Love those games, dude. They're so good. Even Destiny. I still think Bungie completely fumbled Destiny as well. Like, Destiny, in my opinion, probably that game had the most potential out of any game I've ever seen to be arguably the greatest game ever made, if they didn't get completely screwed over with corporate nonsense and activism and stuff. But Halo is still.
They fired me before they made all the decisions, but I saw those decisions coming, and that's why I was no longer
like you look at Destiny's player count now, and it's completely abysmal to what it used to be. They're just not getting the amount of players that they used to, and it is what it is. I mean, you know, they kind of ruined it, but look, Master Chief is iconic, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we've loved him ever since he said, "What's the line? I need a weapon." You know, something like that. I mean, it was love at first quote for Master Chief.
This is great.
Panel, hop in here. What do you guys want to add to this one? We'd love to have your thoughts as well.
Yeah, well, as far as the president getting in all this, I mean, look, I think they're trying to stay relevant with the culture, and they're trying to show that this administration is different and are going to treat issues like this differently, and obviously treat their social media accounts differently in order to stand out. It's an interesting move. We'll see how it plays out right there. By the way, Halo campaign involved won't have multiplayer. What's up with that?
Yeah, well, I've never understood. You know, all Microsoft has to do is remaster those old maps, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3 maps. Bring them back in high resolution and great textures and all of that, and just Super Smash Brothers this thing. Let us just play remastered maps.
The problem is, though, people need to realize that the people that are doing this remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, they're called Halo Studios now. It's just a rebranded name of 343 Industries. The same people. They just rebranded it because it was disastrous before. Obviously, there's all stories online you can read about it. But I think the reason why they're not doing it is because if you look at the Master Chief collection that they did. It was 343. This is what I'm talking about.
They couldn't even release a collection in Debian.
Exactly. They couldn't even release a collection that worked for years.
Right.
The fact that people are like, why don't they release multiplayer? It's like let's, as sad as it sounds, they kind of have to baby step it first. Like, can they ship a Halo remake that works at release first?
This would be like Sega.
And let's think about multiplayer, because
this would be like Sega unable to release Sonic 1, 2, and 3 because it's just too darn hard.
Well, remember, they're not just porting what was done, and they're not just sort of importing models from Halo Infinite and some design elements from other games and putting them in this original game, which is what Jamie is. Jamie was a business partner of mine. We had I've sort of retired from the game industry, but Jamie keeps going, and he's still working at Highwire, and he's probably one of the best designers I've ever worked with, and he knows everything about Halo, so it'll be really interesting to see what he thinks about the changes they're making. But I mean, you know, they're also saying that they're going to add 3 new missions. Now, that's something that's really interesting, because what I'm hearing are all the actors that I hired and all the actors I directed, and I'm hearing all the audio I recorded 25 years ago. And I'm hearing the music, I'm hearing the actors, and it's all the original stuff. Now, how are they going to do 3 new missions? I don't know. I don't know how they do that, because it's Sergeant Johnson and Master Chief missions is what they're calling them. We'll have to see how are they going to use AI voice? Are they going to hire Steve Downes and David Scully again? 25 years is a long time. You got to figure out a way to match anyway, we'll see. And we'll see, what are those missions going to be like? What is that going to do to the story? What's the plan?
Lore-wise, I don't know how it works. I mean, I can't figure out exactly how you would have adventures between the Fall of Reach and Halo Combat Evolved, but...
Well, I mean, it's going to be in the timeline of the Halo Combat Evolved story. So we had, I think, probably 6 or so cut missions that were on paper, ones that we had planned. And there was a through line of the story through those missions. And we cut them and kind of made up.
And said, what if we did a library level that was like 5 times long, and we'll just... That's where we're covering this at.
That was a brilliant level. Yeah. Anyway, we had to do what we had to do. And, maybe they've gone back and looked at the documents and said, well, here's 3 missions that Bungie cut. But like what we cut, we didn't cut anything that had anything finished on it. We didn't have actors doing lines. We hadn't written scripts. We hadn't designed anything specifically. What we didn't do were things that we had just sort of very simple paper outlines for. So if they've gone back to that and then done a new version of it, that could be interesting. We'll have to see.
Kevin, what are your thoughts on all of this, and that Halo has now become a cultural crossroads, I guess, 25 years later?
Yeah, listen, I think I'm loving that GameStop did what they did. They have figured out what Trump figured out a long time ago.
Yeah.
You've just got to be funny. You've just got to be funny, and it cuts through a lot of the nonsense. Who would have thought that we'd be spending, almost an hour discussing something that GameStop did when almost 2 years ago they'd gone the way of the dinosaur?
Yeah.
And then again, I know there are going to be some people out there who are going to get all puckered and angry, but this is also the brilliance of Team Trump. They get it. They get it. They're hip. They're with it. They just embrace the laugh. I haven't seen a single one of these that did not make me stop and at least smile. I had to step away from Twitter today because I actually had to get work done. But every time I open up, there was a brand new Trump Master Chief thing, and I'm like, I can't get enough of this. This is my favorite thing ever, and I just didn't see it coming. Listen, I think this is again, and I'm gonna take the super optimistic road here, right? Because I know sometimes I tend to be a party pooper. Mm-hmm. This is a chance for Halo to be reborn again, right? It's been a really long time. We all love it, but we were there from the beginning. When Pro was talking, I was reminiscing about my friends setting up our LAN parties, and just going nuts and playing this game until someone's mom said, "Why are you lunatics still awake? Get out of my house."
Because we're playing Lockout and we've never seen HD before. We can't go to sleep for 72 more hours.
And that's what I did, man. Halo comes out, and I'm working at IBM and the continuity recovery services, and my opening partner has us jacked into the network so he can play Halo 2 multiplayer when we're supposed to be paying attention to what's going on. We of course paid attention to what was going on, but there was no better speed on the planet than being inside of an IBM building. So you did what you had to do. But this is a chance for a whole new generation to jump on and rediscover, why this game is so special. So I'm very hopeful that I get it. We're taking PlayStation and we're taking Sony, and together, we don't know if they're going to make a Captain Planet of Misery, because they do the stupidest things imaginable. If you say, "Hey, that's a dumb idea," Microsoft says, "Hold my beer," and Sony says, "Oh, we did that 15 minutes ago." Yeah. So again, this is a good chance see Master Chief shine and hopefully get some new collabs. We get it. Microsoft screwed the pooch, and now they're out of the console game. It's been a really long time coming. They should have admitted this over probably 4 years ago, especially when your main company is whining about having to store and ship the hardware. But again, this is a really good chance to see something special, and I hope they get it right.
Lauren, so far Microsoft is refusing to comment on all of this. I think that's probably best for Microsoft right now, unless they just want to go full GameStop, and they're surely not going to do that. Lauren, wrap us up here on your thoughts when it comes to Halo and what we're seeing here. Gamers seem to be driving the culture, and that's driving the journalists drive-bys mad.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm waiting to see is because Gavin is trying so hard to do his Trump impression, I want to see him try and now have the Flood endorse him in his memes and just see how that goes.
Yes.
I think you're describing Portland, eh?
Hey, real quick, you guys should double check. Shane Kim, of course, was head of Xbox for a while and head of at Microsoft, and he was replaced years ago, but he went to GameStop, and so I think it's really interesting. I'm not sure if he's still at GameStop, but I thought he was like vice president in charge of marketing for GameStop or something, because he was there during the weird GameStop stock manipulation thing.
Wall Street bets.
Yes, and he was very he's a really good guy. And if he's still at GameStop, or if he gave them the idea to do this funny bit about Halo, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I'm not sure if he's still there. So
Vash, can you research that? I thought maybe he left in 2021, but I could be wrong about that.
That's what I'm finding, that he was a former interim CEO, but no description on where he's at now. His company is listed as GameStop, but I'm not sure he's there. I'll continue looking though.
Well, gave him a call and said, "Hey, I got an idea. Do this thing."
That's right. Now, somebody that we do know where he is and where he's going is Marty O'Donnell. Yes. Folks, if you are not yet over to Marty O'Donnell for Congress, you need to get over there right now, because this man needs your support. He will be your overshield. It's martyforcongress.com or martyforcongress.vote. Marty, it's time for the spiel. Tell them what you'll do if you get into their government.
Well, first of all, I'll be a staunch conservative, lifelong conservative. I will be supporting sealing the border. I will be supporting immigration reform. I will support the Trump administration and what Donald Trump is doing. I think Trump is a breath of fresh air, and I want to make sure that he gets 4 full years and doesn't have 2 years where all he's doing is fighting off impeachment and lawfare. So I feel a little bit like I'm potentially a piece of the puzzle. I know that's not a typical politician's way of looking at it, but I feel like I can get in and sort of be somebody who helps plug the dike a little bit and doesn't let Congress get flipped over to the Democrats, because if that happens, life as we know it will change once again, and Trump administration and what his plans are will be stymied. So I think we need to get a full 4 years of Trump and his administration. And then we will have we'll have served up a nice platform to get J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio and people like that into the future, which is what I think is what we need for the future of America. We need to get back to normal. We need a new normal. And I think this is the administration that can do it. And I'm on board.
There you go, folks. Get over there and support Marty O'Donnell today. You can see that you've got donate, follow, and join. I haven't said
in a long, long while that I even aspired to live in Nevada. But if I did, I wish I was there now to vote for you.
Well, that's right. You can, everybody can always contribute to my campaign, even if they can't vote.
All right, folks, that's where we'll leave it for now. But somehow, Halo is conquering the world again. And put another one in the can, folks. A video of excellence has been birthed into existence, and you were there to witness it. Thank you for participating. We hope you had a good time. Folks, it's a great time anytime we get to share time with you, and we mean it. The only thing additional we ask, On the way out the door, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And oh, by the way, if you would be so kind, perhaps share this out on your favorite social media platforms. Folks, we've got all kinds of content coming your way. If you are interested in going even beyond all of that, well, there's a Pro Store, and you can always find those items directly below the video you're watching. The Pro Store, it's a cool place to check out for items that, well, definitely Disney and the rest are not going to sell you, but we're happy to do so. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.